right in. Today we're going to be tackling some pro trainer tips.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a ton of advice from the best in the business, and we're going to break it all down for you.
It's going to be a deep dive.
Exactly, a deep dive into
secrets.
fitness secrets, whether you're, aiming for that peak physique or just want to feel healthier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got you covered.
And feel more energized, too.
Oh, yeah, and we know
Seek more energy.
you're busy, so we're cutting to the chase.
Straight to the point.
No fluff, just the good stuff you can actually use.
Actionable.
One thing that really jumped out at me from all this research was how much these trainers emphasize nutrition.
Yeah.
It's not just about hitting the gym.
It's interesting, isn't it? You think with all the, fancy equipment and all the techniques, you'd think nutrition would kind of be secondary, but these trainers are saying it's the cornerstone of any fitness journey.
One trainer even said, you can't out-train a bad diet.
It makes sense, though, right? If you think about your body, like,
yeah, it makes sense.
It's a high-performance machine. You wouldn't put, the cheap gas in the Ferrari.
Exactly.
You got to fuel your body, right?
Yeah. So let's unpack this nutrition piece a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
They talked a lot about meal prep.
Absolutely.
Which seems like a really practical tip for avoiding those diet slip-ups when you're,
huge.
stressed or tired.
It's all about setting yourself up for success.
Totally. And then they get into this, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They talk about eating more frequently, like 5 times a day, but with smaller portions.
Right.
Which, at first, you're like, what?
It seems counterintuitive.
But the idea is to keep your metabolism humming all day long.
You're giving your body, instead of these huge meals that just weigh you down, it's like this constant stream of energy.
Yeah, they say everything you eat should serve a purpose. Like, think nutritional bang for your buck.
I love that analogy.
Every calorie should be working towards your goal.
It's not about deprivation.
Right.
It's about, like you said, fueling your body with nutrient-rich foods.
Okay, so we've established that nutrition is super important.
Yeah.
But let's get into the actual, muscle building.
And the specifics.
What are these, Everybody wants those gains.
Okay, so the foundations are pretty consistent here.
Yeah.
You need to be in a calorie surplus.
Okay.
Which just means you're taking in more calories than you're burning.
Makes sense.
And then adequate protein intake to provide those building blocks for muscle growth.
Okay, and then they also talked a lot about proper form.
Huge.
Using compound movements.
Yeah. Compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, bench presses. Those are incredibly efficient for building overall strength and muscle mass.
Yeah. And when it comes to form, they really emphasize that full range of motion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not about,
It's not about ego lifting.
Swinging the weights around.
You got to engage those muscles.
Exactly.
And maximize that time under tension.
And one thing that really stuck out to me was this idea of not going too heavy all the time.
Yes, there's this sweet spot where you're hitting muscle failure around that 30 to 40 second mark.
Oh, interesting.
And that seems to be optimal for growth.
So it's not about
pushing to your absolute limit.
Yeah, just maxing out
every set.
Every time.
It's about finding that balance between weight and time under tension.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then, of course, they also emphasized rest and recovery.
Right.
Because muscles don't grow when you're working out.
Yeah.
They grow when you're resting.
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in that, go hard or go home mentality. But
no pain, no gain.
Yeah. But you got to let your body recover.
You got to recover.
Now, this one I thought was interesting.
Okay.
One of the trainers mentioned peppermint as a potential performance booster.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Wait, peppermint? Like the candy?
Not exactly the candy.
Okay.
But the essential oil.
Okay.
It turns out that peppermint can actually alter your perception of how hard you're working.
Interesting.
So your workout will feel less strenuous.
So it's like a mental trick to help you push through those tough sets.
It's like a secret weapon to fight fatigue.
I like that.
And improve your overall workout experience.
Okay. So for those of us who are more interested in, running a marathon than bulking up.
Okay, endurance.
What do the trainers have to say?
Endurance training.
Okay, endurance training.
Okay, well, hydration is paramount.
Okay, makes sense.
Especially for those long runs and those intense cardio sessions.
Yeah.
You got to replenish those fluids to keep your body going strong.
They also talked about the benefits of HIIT.
Yes, high-intensity interval training, incredibly effective for improving cardiovascular fitness.
And they also mentioned using a heart rate monitor to track your intensity.
To make sure you're really pushing yourself.
Yeah, it's about understanding how hard your body is working, not just going through the motions.
I like that.
And here's another interesting one.
Okay.
They recommended mastering body weight exercises.
Yes, like pull-ups, push-ups.
Yeah.
Those are incredibly effective for building functional strength and endurance.
I can definitely attest to that.
Oh, for sure.
Those are tough.
They are.
And then one trainer actually suggested reducing the rest time between sets to further challenge
your endurance?
Your endurance.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's intense.
It is.
But I can see how that would really force your body to adapt.
It would, for sure.
And become more efficient.
Right.
Okay. So they also had some pretty unexpected suggestions for fighting fatigue.
Yes.
During those grueling workouts.
Okay.
Beet juice, for one.
Yeah.
Beet juice. Really? What's the science behind that?
So beets are packed with nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide.
Okay.
And nitric oxide is known to improve blood flow and help your muscles use oxygen more efficiently.
So there's actual science backing this up.
It's not just some old wives' tale.
Wow, interesting.
And another surprising tip they mentioned was carefully selecting your workout music.
So it's not just about distraction. There's more to it than that.
Right. Research has shown that listening to music you enjoy can actually cause your blood vessels to expand.
Wow.
Which improves blood flow and can potentially boost your performance.
It seems like our bodies are way more in tune with music than we realize.
The mind-body connection is a powerful force.
It really is.
And music seems to tap into it in a unique way.
Okay, so we talked about nutrition, muscle building, endurance.
We've covered a lot.
Let's move on to strength training now.
Okay.
What are the essentials for building that raw power?
Well, they emphasize that it all starts with the mental game.
Okay.
Setting clear goals, staying patient.
Got it.
Being consistent with your efforts.
Consistency.
Maintaining focus during your workouts.
So it's about getting your head in the game before you even touch the weights.
Absolutely.
They also highlighted the importance of proper form.
Oh, yes. Huge.
Not just for effectiveness, but for injury prevention.
You don't want to lift heavy weights.
Right, because lifting heavy with bad form.
With sloppy form.
That's how you get hurt.
Exactly.
And I love that weakest link concept they talked about.
Oh, yeah.
It's about identifying and addressing those small deficiencies.
Right. It's like a chain.
Yeah.
It's only as strong as its weakest link.
Exactly.
Sometimes addressing a seemingly minor imbalance can have a huge impact on your overall strength and performance.
And then finally, they talked about the importance of shocking your body by changing up your routine.
Right, to avoid those plateaus.
Exactly, because our bodies are incredibly adaptive.
They are.
They get used to the same routine over and over.
So we got to keep them guessing.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
You know, from the importance of nutrition.
Yes.
To the finer points of muscle building, endurance training, and strength training.
Absolutely.
But what about fat loss?
Okay, yeah.
Everybody wants to know the secret to shedding those extra pounds.
The trainers had some interesting perspectives on this one.
Okay, yeah.
They challenged the typical calorie counting approach.
Interesting.
And encouraged us to think of food as fuel for our bodies.
So it's not just about restricting calories.
Yeah.
It's about making smart choices about the types of fuel we're putting in.
Exactly. They also highlighted the importance of understanding macronutrients, carbs, protein, and fats, and their roles in fueling our bodies.
Okay. And they also suggested taking progress photos to track changes.
Great tip.
Even if the scale isn't budging.
Sometimes the visual evidence can be more motivating.
I agree with that.
Than just a number on the scale.
Absolutely. And then they also debunked that myth.
The myth.
That carbs are evil.
Oh, yeah.
Carbs are not the enemy.
They're essential for energy.
Right.
Especially if we're active.
Yeah, it's all about choosing the right types.
Right.
And consuming them in moderation.
Exactly.
Now, this one surprised me.
Okay.
They said that targeting lower body workouts can actually increase your overall calorie burn.
It's true.
Who knew leg day was so powerful?
It is.
And once again, hydration took center stage.
Oh, yeah.
It's so important.
Absolutely.
They even mentioned drinking ice water in the morning for a metabolism boost.
It's fascinating how even small adjustments like the temperature of our water can have an impact on our metabolic rate?
Well, that wraps up part 1 of our deep dive into the world of Pro Trainer tips.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll uncover even more insights.
Oh, yeah, there's more.
To help you level up your fitness game.
Absolutely.